Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you're representing. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so I can get your notifications to you ASAP. You dig what I'm saying? I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in. Then I'm going in. But in the meantime, and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Sweet beloved. Good Friday. Good Friday, everyone. What's up? What's up, Mariah? Mariah says, this is gross. That man's son is no longer with us. Please expound on that. What is gross? Reporting the news? Do you turn on Fox News and say this is gross when they talk about it? Do you say it's gross when CNN talk about it, or do you just sit there and watch? I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe you got different standards for the internet and network TV. Moving on. Or maybe you got different standards for the truth. I'm not sure. Zakara, what's up, Tex? What's up, Texas? Kels, good afternoon. Millie Mel, Flint, Michigan. Jacksonville, Florida in the building. Jamal Henderson. Michael Merritt, H-Town. Miss B, what up? Gold. What's up, Gold? Gold says it's a protest of all white people coming this weekend. A protest of all white people coming. What? Coming where? Well, all white people. Well, not all white people, but yeah, I guess you're trying to say that the people that's coming will be white. All of the people that's coming will be white. Not all white people. Strong Island, New York. What's up, Lulu? Shiny Denise, Spring, Texas. What's up, Tex? Letitia. What up? Texas in the house. Miss Macha. Maryland. Okay, fam, let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and do a preemptive strike because I know topics like this typically blow the trash in, right? Who are the trash? The uncivilized mutts who come to my channel who like to spew dissent and try to cause confusion. They're not here to hear the truth. They're not here to get an understanding. They don't want information and instructions. They simply try to cause confusion and dissension. So I'm going to give you one warning. Your warning is right now. Do not come on here with that uncivilized mutt behavior that your mama and your daddy taught you, because you will be blocked immediately. I know you like to go to certain forums and they let you just run amok, let you run wild like the uncivilized mutt you are, but this ain't it. So if you come here with it, just know you got one time. Now here's the deal. We ain't got to agree. In fact, I don't mind somebody disagreeing with me if they can enlighten me. I'm one of them type. So we don't have to agree. But disrespect will not be tolerated. Moving on. All right, let me put a pickup of my subject. So the man to the right is Jeff Metcalf. That's Jeff Metcalf. He is the father of Austin Metcalf, the 17-year-old boy who lost his life during an altercation at a track meet in Frisco, Texas, a few weeks ago. He pulled up at the press conference for Karmelo Anthony, the 16-year-old boy accused of stabbing Austin in the chest. Let me say this, fam, before I go any further. Both families are grieving and dealing with an immense amount of emotional distress. So I am fully aware that unexpected interactions in public forums can exacerbate the stress and hinder the healing process for all involved. Jeff Metcalf's grief is understandable. Attending the press conference without prior coordination is not understandable because it was seen as inappropriate and potentially harmful to the delicate situation surrounding both families. See, that's the part what I just said, that part right there, that's the part they don't want to acknowledge. They don't like that. Boy, that truth is like it's almost like when you pull out a cross on a vampire. It just starts scurrying, like, don't do it, Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. While Jeff Metcalf's grief is understandable, attending that press conference without prior coordination was seen as inappropriate and potentially harmful to a delicate situation that is already surrounding both families. And it also came off as a sense of entitlement. See, Jeff did exactly what his son accused Karmelo of doing. Going somewhere, being somewhere where he was not wanted. Now, instead of the nice, friendly police officers walking up to Jeff and asking him to politely leave, which he did comply, what if one of the people in attendance, maybe a Karmelo family supporter, would have walked up to him and asked him, instead of asking him to leave, told him to leave in an aggressive manner, the way that his son aggressively told Karmelo Anthony, to leave. Now, what do you think would have happened? Old Jeff seemed like the guy that ain't easily gonna back down from nothing. So Jeff probably would have stood his ground. And then what if the guy would have been persistent and put his hands on Jeff, tried to physically remove him? If Jeff would have pulled out a gun and downed him, or let's just use apples for apples, if Jeff would have pulled out a knife and stuck him in his chest, the same people who are mad at Karmelo Anthony and trolling his family and talking down on his family would be in support of those actions. They would switch up in a heartbeat. This is why, family, I say these people don't care about the truth. They're going to always try to find a way to make sense of whatever the narrative is they're trying to paint. Just like one of these people just jumped in and said, well, they're not on the school ground. Defending yourself is defending yourself. I'm going to defend myself in church. I defend myself at a hospital, school, hospital, church. I'll defend myself in heaven at the pearly gates. Run up on me if you want to. Ain't no limit to where you defend yourself at. Y'all keep talking about he was on school grounds. The same people that's talking that noise right now about school grounds, the same people talking about school grounds, I bet you they ain't online right now talking about that shooter that just shot the sheriff, the deputy's son who just shot up the school. I bet you they ain't on there talking about how he needs to die, how he needs to get the death penalty. I guarantee you they're not on there talking like that. Because they don't care nothing about him. They don't care nothing about Austin. They care nothing about Karmelo Anthony. We know that for a fact. All they care about is that those ideologies, whatever ideologies are consistent with theirs, that's all they care about. They're using those youngsters as pawns for their agenda. They don't care nothing about no Austin Metcalf. Acting like they all of a sudden got a heart. These are the same damn people that was rooting for Zimmerman. These same people that was rooting for the police officer who gunned down Michael Brown because he was walking in the middle of the street. These are the same people who time and time, every single time, take the police side when they illegally shoot somebody black. Well, this is not about a race. You goddamn liar. It is about race. It's always about race in this country. Don't get it twisted. I don't know who you think you're trying to fool, but you ain't fooling me. And by jumping online and trying to say I'm some type of racist or I hate white people, that ain't going to work on me. I know who I am. I rock with who rock with me. I love who love me, irregardless of their skin color. So that shit you trying don't work with me. And I'm not going to be silent so you can be comfortable. I've been seeing a lot of little coconuts jumping online. Well, that was just wrong and I'm black. Like I'm black, give them some type of credibility. Like they get some extra consideration because they're black and they're agreeing with the other side. You got people in the comments talking about, well, this looks, the black community must be proud. The black community must be proud. So now we the black community. So now you want us to be proud. So is anybody saying, are you saying people that saying the black community must be proud? Are you on those sites right now where they're talking about the white boy who just shot up the school? Are you on those sites and you're saying the white community must be proud? Are you saying that? Hell no, you're not. Because you are a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite like your mammy and your pappy. You're a hypocrite like your grandpappy and your grandmammy was. Hypocrite. And got the nerve to act like you real, like you a real one, like you stand on something, like you got some type of real morals, real standards. No, you got double standards just like everybody else. You pick and choose who you want to support. You pick and choose based on the color of somebody's skin and their ideologies, meaning that if their ideologies match yours, their skin don't matter what color they are because you can use them for your agenda. So I'm not confused when you support a few coconuts. I'm not confused when you support those coconuts because we know the coconuts ain't for us. Jeff Metcalf showing up at that press conference showed his sense of entitlement. That's right, I said it. Let's flip the script. What if Carmelo Anthony's parents had showed up at a Jeff Metcalf press conference, a press conference for the victims? It would have been like showing up at a Trump rally. Get him out of here. What's wrong with him? Get him out of here. They would try to jump him and everything. If Carmelo Daddy would have showed up at the Metcalf press conference, oh, they would be up in arms. Look at that. Look at him, acting just like his son. I see where he gets it from. Like father, like son. The apple don't fall far from the tree. You can't fool me. I know you. I know how you are. The double standards, the hypocrisy for life. You are double standards, hypocrisy for life. All of a sudden, you're concerned about somebody raising funds for the defense of someone accused of murder. You ain't never had a problem with that before. Check your bank statements. I'm sure it shows GoFundMe and what the cause was for. I'm sure. But now you got a problem. Now you're acting like, oh, this guy's just savage. Why would he do something like this? This type of thing should never happen. This is a tragedy. It should never happen. You ain't been concerned about it happening in the past. But now you're concerned. Now you have a heart. Now you care about the victim. Now you have love for the victim. You have compassion. You have empathy. Now you have it. I wonder why. You damn straight it's about race. It's always about a race in this country. Do you see what's happening over there in China right now? In China, they have mandated, Beijing has mandated that children at the age of 6 on up learn AI by this fall. They must learn AI. All children, not some children, all children. So when you start thinking about the things that are supposed to be beneficial to all children of a nation, it ain't like that over here. They pick and choose who they want to send funds to, what schools they want to fund, and what schools they want to defund. They care nothing about the children based on race. They care nothing about the children. But those children are still in this country and they make up the population of the US and they are counted as citizens of the US. So when those children fail, the US fail, you dummy. China say all of the kids are going to learn AI. In America, oh, we're going to fraction it up. We're going to break it up. Okay, you got to go to a charter school to learn AI over here. You got to be at a magnet school. You have to be at this type of school. It's got to be prestigious. You got to be private to learn AI. AI is affecting everybody's life right now. You say you hate socialism. If Americans don't get on top of that game with AI right now, if Americans don't start learning AI right now, those kids don't understand AI right now. Those Chinese kids are coming over here and they're going to have all the jobs. They're going to have everything. And it ain't going to just be Black people suffering. That's for all of you who are always thinking, well, as long as it happened to them. No, it's going to happen to you too and yours too. And what's going to happen is the government is going to have to do some major subsidizing. And they're going to have to take care of all of these people who just can't find a damn job because the jobs have been taken over by robots. Not let me back up, not taken over by robots, but given to robots by these people who we look up to. And these people that we look at like they're so damn nice, good people, so warm-hearted and sophisticated, and because they got billions of dollars, they deserve our respect. They're giving these jobs to computers and robots to replace you. They don't give a damn about you. Let me tell you something, fam. This is when I knew for certain that I was on the right track with not working in corporate America. This is before this is before my platinum records and everything. This is before Ghetto Boys, everything. I was watching the news one day, and the Houston Post, which was a mainstay daily publication in Houston for damn near 100 years. Breaking news. People are walking out of the building. They're packing. Everybody got a box on their desk. Everybody have a box on their desk. And they have a note on the desk that read, you have 30 minutes to pack your stuff and be out of this building. There were people who had been at that company for 30 years who they gave 30 minutes to get out. Imagine that. These companies don't give a damn about you, especially corporations. The smaller companies, there are some, I will give them credit. There are some smaller companies who really, really love their employees. It's a very tight-knit family. The smaller the company, typically, if you find an employer that does care, that's where you'll find them. But these corporations with these hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of employees, they don't give a damn about you. I don't care how many years you've worked. The moment you can't serve them, they're going to treat you just like a football player who busted out his knee. They're going to replace you like that. So that's when I knew, okay, I got to make sure I don't ever find myself working in corporate America where I'm a slave to corporate America, because I've seen it firsthand how they would do people. They don't care. And that's why I'm not mad when people get their money and move on to another company. I'm not mad. I'm not mad when ball players leave the team because they want more money. Because the team don't give a damn about you. Those owners don't give a damn. Everybody's expendable. This guy knew he was out of pocket when he went to that press conference. He knew it. When asked by reporters, what he was doing and what his thoughts were on the words from Karmelo's mother, who's to the left there, he said he just came by to hear what they had to say. Number one is a violation of legal boundaries and court orders, because Karmelo is under a court order prohibiting any contact with the Metcalf family. While Jeff Metcalf did not directly violate this order, his unexpected presence at Karmelo Anthony's family's press conference created a situation that could have been perceived as confrontational or intimidating. This is a situation that led to law enforcement intervention, where officers had to inform him that he would be charged with trespassing if he did not leave, which he agreed to do after he shook the police hands. He shook the police officer's hands, and then he left. Which, let me remind you, that the police is always going to be on the other side. The police is absolutely on the Metcalf side, because the police relate more to Metcalf than they relate to Karmelo Anthony's family. Those same police are the ones who are often accused of taking Black life. So they're probably hurting themselves. They're probably crying, and they're probably passing on some of those little racist text messages they get caught with every now and then. I wouldn't put it past them. He shook the police hands like, hey, guys, yeah. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Hey, how you doing, Jeff? Hey, good to see you. Good to see you, Tim. Yeah. Hey, John. Hey, I'll be over there tonight. I know some of y'all are looking at me like, oh, I can't stand that guy. Oh, I can't stand him. Why are you so violent? It's just a guy on the internet providing commentary about an international news story. Why are you so mad at me? I'm just a journalist. So let's dial this back a little. How did all of this start? How did this all start? How did we get here? We got here because of this guy on the right, Austin Metcalf, confronted the guy on the left, Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony was sitting under a tent, minding his own business. Granted, the tent was a tent meant for the school that Austin attended. Austin didn't own the tent. It wasn't his tent. Whoever put the tent up had the right to tell Austin, get lost if they wanted to. But Austin decided to confront Karmelo Anthony, who told him, touch me and see what happened. Now, if somebody tell you to touch me and see what happened, your spider senses should be on. You should be like, okay, wait a minute, he just told me touch him and see what happened. If somebody tell me, touch me and see what happened, my common sense gonna be like, oh, he must be ready. That's confidence. Touch me and see what happens is confidence. That means he's fairly confident that he can handle whatever I'm bringing. Touch me and see what happens. Now, if I decide to touch him, I need to be prepared to see what happens. So in my mind, if I do touch him, I'm ready to see what happens. I'm ready to see what's going to happen. I'm ready. Because I want to win every time. I don't want to just be willy-nilly in it in life and underestimating people because I'm bigger than them, or because I got them outnumbered, or because I have a weapon myself. Even if I got a weapon, I'm thinking that this person might be able to beat me to the punch with what they got. So if somebody say, touch me and see what happened, that's my warning. That is my warning. If I touch him, I'm probably going to see what happened. Or I can decide, okay, all right, you know what, man? I'm going to leave it alone, or I'll go get some authority and request that they move you. If I need you to move that much. If I'm that adamant that you move, then I'll go try to get me some help. He didn't do that. Not only did he touch him, he put his hands on him to try to remove him, according to the witnesses. But he had some help, his twin brother. So, according to witnesses, these guys tried to jump Karmelo. Now, when somebody it's one thing is one person trying to make you move or do something, but you got two people who are trying to jump you, intimidate you, bully you, put their hands on you and you defend yourself, and then one of them ends up harmed mortally. I know y'all don't care about somebody dying because y'all always making fun of people dying on the internet. The same people that's acting like they care don't care, depending on who it is. I know you. I see you all the time. So these guys try to jump Karmelo, and Karmelo pulls out his knife and stabs one of them and fatally wounds him. So now you have people who want the worst to happen to Carmelo Anthony and his family, lying on the family, talking about they using funds from the fundraiser to buy a house and set up security and all this type of stuff, which they have the right to do that if that's what they wanted to do. But that lie was debunked by the family's attorney and minister. They said that they haven't touched any of the money. None of the money has been released. But these are the games that they play to try to smear your name when your ideologies don't line up with theirs. When your ideologies don't align with theirs, they will try everything in the book to try to destroy you. So that's what they're doing with this young man. And this is why I'm reporting on this, because I'm not going to let that young man be out there all by himself. Some people won't report on this because they don't want to come off as insensitive, or they don't want to come off in a way that has their white friends and employer or whatever feel some type of way about them. The same ones who don't care how they feel when someone of their community has been murdered. They don't give a damn about how you feel. And they will actually, I've seen them go online, the same people go online and make jokes about the deceased. Now, I haven't seen anybody making jokes about Austin Metcalf. I haven't seen that level of insensitivity. I haven't seen that level of disrespect. But people are saying what they feel about this and what they think about this case, and they are being candid. Because how many times have we seen and heard on a daily damn basis of white folks, white kids, grown folks, everybody trying to push black folks around and bully them and telling them what to do and killing them and all kinds of stuff? And they're acting like this is something that is just totally unheard of. Like something like this is just, these type of things should never happen. But it happens all the time to black folks. The shoe is on the other foot a lot. And they don't have this type of vitriol. They don't have this type of angst. They don't have this type of time to comment. But they do now. I wonder why. Well, that still don't mean that he could bring a knife to school. What is he doing with a knife at a school? What it's a school event. Somebody said it was not a school. So, well, it was a school event. They pivot. They pivot when they find out the truth, whatever the truth is. They just got an excuse for everything. Well, what is he doing with a knife? You know, like why did he have a knife? Because he was scared. See, they know how to ask the right questions when it fit the narrative that they wanted to fit. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they would have said, well, he had a knife because he was afraid. That guy's That guy's 60 pounds bigger than him. I mean, that guy's 50 pounds heavier than him. I would have had a knife too. Karmelo got what he deserved. He should have never approached him. He should have never put his hands on the guy. Okay, maybe ask him to leave, but that's it, man. Don't put your hands on nobody, man. Don't put your hands on anybody. No, it's a problem. It's the hypocrisy for me, fam. It's the double standards for me. The press conference was intended for the Anthony family to address public concerns and share their perspective following the tragic incident. Jeff Metcalf's unannounced arrival caused a significant delay in the event, leading to heightened tensions and diverting attention from the original purpose. Which led to a potential for escalating tensions. Given the emotional charged nature of the situation, Jeff Metcalf's presence could have escalated tensions between the families. Minister Dominique Alexander, let's speak on him for a moment. He's the guy that has been representing the Anthony family. He described Jeff Metcalf's attendance as a disrespect to the dignity of his son and emphasized that he was not invited. Now, for the people that didn't have a problem with Jeff just showing up uninvited, consider this. What if his actions influence public perception and potentially affect ongoing legal proceedings? Those unplanned confrontations, they could be viewed unfavorably and could complicate the pursuit of justice by introducing additional emotional and legal complexities. I know y'all don't want that. He hurt himself more than he hurt the Karmelo Anthony family by going up there. He should have stayed where he was and waited on it to come on the news just like everybody else. Now, what I'm about to say is for everybody, not just the Metcalf family. This is for everybody. All you folks out there that love your children, teach your children to keep their hands to themselves, because we see what happens when they don't. We see what happens on a juvenile level, and we see what happens on an adult level. Those kids who don't get the proper home training grow up to be bullies as adults. They're bullies in school, and they grow up to be adults, adult bullies. And sometimes they put their hands on the wrong person and they end up dead. Now that's a fact. And that's a fact that everybody is okay with, unless it don't fit the narrative that they want it to. Typically, we're okay with that. What I just said, let's take away the incident. Let's take away the incident. Let's take away the whole Karmelo Anthony, Austin, Metcalf incident and just focus on the words that I said. Typically, if somebody, bullies grow up to put their hands on people, and every now and then they put their hands on somebody and they end up dead. And we, in general, don't have a problem with that, because we got enough sense to know if he or she wouldn't have put their hands on that person, they would probably still be alive. All of us got enough sense to know that. And we have commented on those type of situations many, many times. And we've always been affirmative about our positions. Keep your hands to yourself. Because when you put your hands on somebody, you don't get to dictate how they respond. Well, he had a knife. What did I just say? Put your hands on somebody and you don't get to dictate how they respond. Take out the boys. Let's step away from this case and let's speak in general. Would you agree? I'm talking to all of you out there that's got a problem with what I'm saying. Forget about these two boys for a moment and let's focus on what I'm saying. In general, would you agree? If a person put their hands on another person, and that person who got hands put on them, defended themselves with a knife, a gun, a BB gun, a stick, a bat, a club, a pipe, whatever, and that person ended up dead, we would agree that even though that was a tragic event, we would also agree that it could have been avoided if he had just kept his hands to himself. If she had just kept her hands to herself. See, that's typically how a lot of these people who are up in arms about this case, about Karmelo Anthony, who want to harm him or want him harmed, typically that's how they think. But because Karmelo Anthony is a young black man, they got a problem with it. And because Austin was a young white man, they got a problem with it. They got a problem with it. And that is because of the race element exclusively. Has nothing to do with nothing else. So when they start pivoting and talking all of this, well, what are you doing with a knife out of school? Well, what about fighting him? He could have fought. Ain't nobody taking no ass whooping, man. Ain't nobody taking no unnecessary ass whooping. If you run up on me and I got it on me, you're going to get it. Ain't nobody taking no unnecessary ass whooping. Period. If he was in a position where he had no choice but to try to fight back with his hands, that's different. But he had a weapon on him. He had a weapon that he brought with him for his protection, and he used it. That's what it was for. If nobody would have put their hands on him that day, he wouldn't have stabbed anybody that day. Remember, 4.0 average at school, good kid, by all accounts. This is the people who know him, not me. This is the people who know him. This is adults, students, people in the neighborhood, people at school. Good kid. Not prone to violence. In fact, he's the antithesis of that type of person. A guy who had saved another kid's life, which another thing, the media ain't talking about that. They're not talking about how Karmelo has saved another little kid's life before. They won't talk about that. The media is complicit in this destruction of Karmelo's image. They are leading the charge, which they've always led the charge in the destruction of the black male image. So, I mean, what do you expect, though? Well, what are you doing with a knife? If I'm afraid, if somebody is, let me put it like this, even if it wasn't Austin, y'all see what's going on out here today? Everybody packing everywhere. People in church got guns. They're in church with guns, strapped up. You see what's happening. People getting killed in groceries, innocent people getting killed in grocery stores. Can't go to the damn grocery store without fear of being killed. Can't walk down the street, can't drive down the street without some uncivilized much screaming and with road rage trying to run you off the road. So having a weapon is not unusual in these days and times, especially in Texas. I'm surprised he didn't have a gun. That's right. As a good kid in Texas, I'm surprised he didn't have a gun, because you got uncivilized mutts everywhere that's trying to take advantage of you, trying to prey on you. I ain't mad at nobody who protect themselves. I'll protect myself. I don't give a damn where I'm at. He had a gun. He had a knife that attract me. What you want him to do? Just get beat up? Yeah, that's what you wanted. I'll bet you anything, if Karmelo would have got jumped at that track meet, gotten beaten down by Austin and his brother, his twin brother, I'll bet you $1 to a donut, they still be screaming Austin Metcalf. They'll still be on his side. If they would have just beat Karmelo down, they would have been on his side, and they would have tried to paint Karmelo as the villain, the same way they did Trayvon. Trayvon ain't did nothing to nobody, innocent kid. And they was making jokes about his death. And they still are. They hate to hear Carmelo Anthony's name. Any black person who's been murdered by white folks or others who were primarily white folks, any black people that's been murdered primarily by black folks, and it caused an uproar, a public uproar, the people who support those other people, they hate them. They hate the victim. They hate the victim. They hate George Floyd, the victim. They hate Breonna Taylor. Innocent girl. First responder. They love to brag on first responders. You know, hey man, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. First responders, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Wait a minute. She's black. She got killed. White officers ran up in her house and killed her. And the black folks took to the streets, and they were raising all kinds of hell. And you know what? Not her. Can't stand her. Thank you for service. Thank you for service. Double standards and hypocrisy. That's what I don't like. The double standards and the hypocrisy. Yep, good quote. Edward Gilbert, thanks for that reminder. Malcolm X said, we're going to highlight that. Malcolm X said, be peaceful, be courteous, obey the law, respect everyone. But if someone puts their hands on you, send them to the cemetery. Americans don't have a problem with that statement, as long as it's not a black person sending somebody to the cemetery, especially a white person. They ain't got no problem with that. Everybody can agree with that. That's because think about those words, family. Let's not think about the sending to the cemetery. Let's think about the person who sent them to the cemetery. What type of person that person is. A peaceful person, a courteous person, one who obeys the law, respects everyone. But somebody put their hands on him and he sent them to the cemetery. We usually love those type of guys. We usually praise those type of people. In fact, that's the type of friend we like to have, right? Who wouldn't want a friend like that? I do. I want a friend like that. I want a type of friend who is peaceful, who is courteous, who obeys the law, who respects everyone. But if somebody put their hands on him, send him to the cemetery. That's the type of friend I want. I know that's the type of friend I want to have my back. That's the type of friend I want to have my back. A real soldier, not a crash dummy, not somebody running around here bullying folks, pushing people around, taking advantage of people. Not that dude. I don't want to be around that dude. He's a crash dummy. I don't want to be around a dude who's disrespectful. Because a disrespectful dude will get you hurt. And a disrespectful dude eventually will get around to disrespecting you. So I don't want to be around no disrespectful dude. I don't want to be around a belligerent dude. I want to be around a courteous, peaceful, law-abiding, respectful type of dude. But if somebody put their hands on him or me, send him to the cemetery, that's the type of friend I want to be around. And that's the type of friends I got. Now, typically, that's American. Because America don't have a problem with violence. America really don't have a problem with violence. We see violence all day, every day. In fact, I'll go as far as to say America actually loves violence. Turn on the TV. That's all you see, a bunch of violence. Go to the movie theater. Some of the biggest blockbusters filled with violence. But then when they hear violence on a rap record, now all of a sudden, rap is responsible for the violence in America. America brags about violence, especially when it's being perpetrated against other countries. Remember when George Bush, the first George Bush, what George Bush II sent the troops to Iraq the second time? His daddy sent them the first time. His daddy sent them in, I think, 92. He sent them in 2001 to invade Baghdad, right? People were gung-ho. America was like, yeah, get them, get them. Yeah, we'll wipe that little shit off the map. We'll wipe them off the map. It's going to be over quick. They was all gung-ho. The soldiers was gearing up to go out there. They was all excited and everything because they was thinking about what happened the first time around when America took over, when they invaded Iraq and took over the capital of Baghdad within 24 hours. They were thinking about that Baghdad. They wasn't thinking that these people had a new strategy. You know what that strategy was? Guerrilla warfare. No matter how many of us go down, if we get just one of them and be extremely, especially brutal about it and film it and put it out there, we're going to terrorize them. So every time America knocked down 100 of their soldiers, they would get one American soldier and chop his head off or something and film it and have them up there talking to their family and pleading and begging, and then take them down and put it out there. All of a sudden, those same soldiers was like on video crying like, what are we doing out here? Why do they have us here? We're out here fighting an unjust war. All of a sudden, now they want to listen to the other side. Now they want to listen to the anti-war pundits. Now they want to listen. But at first, they was just get them, get them, get them, get them, get them. They didn't care about those people. They didn't care about killing innocent people. They didn't care about killing innocent babies. They didn't care about removing fathers from their homes and children growing up with no fathers. They didn't care at all until it started affecting them. Now they care. Now Americans over here talking about, hey, they need to end this war because they're afraid that their kids are going to get killed. See, it was all good as long as it wasn't going to be no casualties, or the casualties was going to be at a minimum. But once those people out there started indiscriminately taking people out, they was ready. Americans was ready to end the war. Like, oh, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's talk about this. Let's take it. Let's bring it down a little now. Let's talk about it. Now they want to talk. Because it's sad to say that, but in America, the truth is, generally speaking, Americans don't respect nothing but blood and money. That's it. Blood and money. That's it. That's what it boils down to. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you're at a party. Let's say it's a cocktail party. I dress you up a little bit. Let's say you're in a nice suit. Got your nice suit on, nice dress, whatever. And you're standing around a group of people. You're at a high table. And you're just having a conversation. And it's just a regular conversation. And then a guy walks off. And one of the people at the table says, yeah, that's such and such. That guy's worth $900 million. Now, all of a sudden, that same guy who you looked at like just a regular guy who was at the table, now all of a sudden, in your head, he's been elevated to a major level of importance. Now, out of all the people in that space, you want to see if you can circle the wagon and somehow get back to that guy so you can perhaps do some business or something, right? Now he's important. Now you wish you would have asked a few more questions, maybe taken a little bit more interest in what he had to say. Or maybe he said nothing and he was just listening. So now maybe you would have wanted to hear him say something, perhaps give some advice. Here's another one. You're standing around, people are having a conversation, and somebody started talking about how somebody got killed. At first, you wasn't interested, but then when they start talking about murder, you lock in. Murder. You lock in. Damn, who got killed? How did he get killed? Why did he get killed? You want to know all the particulars now. Ain't that funny how they go? Blood and money. When you're dealing with bullies, bullies don't respect nothing but being bullied back. You can't reason with a bully. A bully will, if you try to reason with a bully will laugh at you and kick you in the ass. Ha ha ha, bam, get out of here. See you tomorrow. I'm gonna do the same thing. Can't reason with a bully. The only reason why America don't try China, because America know there will be blood on both sides. And I'm talking about a whole lot of blood. That's the only reason why they want. China is one country, America, that ain't never got to worry about America trying them. But those little small countries that ain't directly tied into China, they got to worry. The double standards and the hypocrisy. That's what I'm talking about. This guy on the right, Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, the kid who was killed at the track meet in Austin a few weeks ago by Karmelo Anthony after he tried to force him to move from a seated position, pops up at the press conference for Karmelo Anthony's family to speak for the first time. He decides he wants to just show up, and he got on these dark glasses. Now, what he claims that he was just there to listen. The problem with that is he wasn't supposed to be there at all. He wasn't invited. He was asked to leave by deputies, which he did comply. But he wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. Now, had the shoe been on the other foot, and Karmelo's father would have showed up at a Jeff Metcalf, Austin Metcalf press conference, what do you think the headlines would have read? The media would be all over. They would be killing him right now in the media. They would be destroying Karmelo's dad. And they would be saying things like the apple don't fall far from the tree. So we can say a whole lot of things about this case. But one thing we all know, and you ain't got to admit it because I know you know it. You ain't got to say it in your social media post. You ain't got to make no video about it. But I know you know the truth. The one thing is, we know for every action, there is a reaction. We know that for a fact. We all are quick to acknowledge that. For every action, there is a reaction. And we know that if Austin Metcalf had not put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf would quite possibly still be alive today. We know that. We're pretty certain Austin would still be alive today. I don't know if his daddy ever told him, keep your hands to yourself. But if he did, he didn't listen. Jeff Metcalf went to that press conference because he could. He went there because he felt a sense of entitlement. Why else would you go to a press conference of the person who killed your child? You know that's inappropriate. You know you're not supposed to be around that family. Why would you do that? But no, his supporters are not going to admonish him for that. They're going to make excuses for him. They're going to say things like, well, you know, if it was mine, I would do the same thing. I would want to hear what they have to say. Hear it on the news, sucker. You can hear it. You're going to hear it just like everybody else. You ain't got to be there. What are you being there going to accomplish for you and your deceased son? How does that make anything any better? The only thing that can come out of that is bad news. There ain't no good news can come from that. And no good news has come from it. Putting your hands on somebody, no good news is going to come from that. Especially when somebody tells you, put your hands on me and see what happens. So let's get back to that. Because I've seen enough death in my time. I've seen people get killed for over just about anything you can think of. Not heard about it, seen it. Was there in close proximity, walking up on it, watching it unfold, you know, or in the mix in some type of way. I'm seeing it. I seen a dude walk up on a guy with a gun who just got a gun out of his car, out of his truck, his Jeep. He was bullying the guy. We were at a skating rink, and he was bullying the guy. Him and some other guys. This guy was a known bully. The guy goes to his truck. He follows him outside. The guy goes to his Jeep and retrieves his gun. These are teenagers, 17, both 17 years old. He gets a Jeep out of his truck. He gets a gun out of the Jeep. And he stands there with the gun. He got the hammer on him. Everybody can see he got a gun. Dude said, what you gonna do? You gonna shoot me? What you gonna do with that gun? What you gonna do? Well, he steadily was walking on up to him. Billy Badass. What you gonna do? What you gonna shoot me? You gonna shoot me? Pow, 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 pow. Just popping on him. Put him on his mama's front porch. And that's where he is to this day. In a wheelchair. You can ride down the street sometimes and you'll see him out there on the porch. Just sitting. Fairly warned. Dude got a gun. If somebody tells you, put your hands on me and see what happens, you should immediately start thinking about self-preservation and saying, you know what? Maybe I need to abort that idea that I had. He said, see what happens. I don't know, perhaps Austin was thinking, oh, what he can't even do but fighting. We're gonna beat him down. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got this. If somebody tells you, put your hands on me, see what happens, they ready. Just like if you see somebody outside a club, a store, whatever, and they talking really rowdy, and you looking at them, especially if you got some size on you and the person is a lot smaller than you, if they talking really, really tough and aggressive, if they're being really aggressive, more than likely they're prepared. More than likely they have a weapon. And you need to consider that before you make your next move. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Miss Jazz, I saw you in the chat. Appreciate you. Let's see, a few more shout outs. Ramo, what's up? Rashid Muhammad, Riz B, Lil TV, Motown House, Big Steve, what up? Woman Queen. Somebody says, so like if a cop says stop resisting, you should do that. Leeski, I'm trying to think. What grade do you start like learning cognitive dissonance? Like you got reading comprehension. That's pretty early. Yeah. Leeski, don't do that, bro. So like if a cop says stop resisting, you should do that. See, that's the difference. See, a lot of y'all think because of your skin color, you got cop capacity. You think that you got uh, cop rights. You know, because a lot of times, you know, they try to deputize themselves. You ain't a cop. Dude wasn't a cop. He didn't have the authority to remove anybody from anywhere. He didn't have that authority. He's a regular citizen, a regular person, just like Karmelo. He had no more right to remove Karmelo from that the spot that he was sitting in than anybody. Just like if you were living in an apartment complex and somebody says, I've never seen you around here before. Let me see your key fob. The hell are you? Nigga, I live here. What the hell you do? No, I ain't got to show you nothing. You ain't no boss of me. You're not the authority around here. You have no right to tell somebody, let me see your key fob. If they can come into the building, if they're inside of the building, then perhaps they have a right to be there just like you're inside of the building. If you got a problem with them being there, keep your eye on them. If you're truly suspicious that they are doing something, then I guess you get the cops involved. But then some of y'all really ain't really suspicious. Y'all just think y'all see somebody black and start calling the police. Vicky Slaughter, what's up? He had a knife. Why'd he have a knife at a school? Ain't nobody taking no ass. Ain't nobody taking no unnecessary ass whooping. Stop all that bullying. Keep your hands to yourself. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.